lot of pressure for a little school to get here in the first place, in case of us being about 70 in high school, so I don't think
it's regarded by a lot of people, and the same is true this year, as the team to beat. As long as you're the defending champion, you're the team to knock off for the thing. Extra pressure on the kids at all by that?
No, I don't think there's any extra pressure at all. There's a lot of pressure for a little school to get here in the first place, in case of us being about 70 in high school, so I don't think it was a case of extra pressure. It was just a case of extra incentive for us to get here and try and defend.
Okay. Now this team, this Lyman team, 81 points a game is what they've been averaging. They love to run up and down the floor. They can present all sorts of problems scoring that many points for a defensive team. What defensively are you going to try to do to slow them down?
Well, we hope we can keep up with them. They're very fast at the guard position, and then the other positions are quite adequate too, but we hope that we can pick them up early. We're not going to pressure or steal the ball away from them. We just want to try and contain them and stay with them as best we can.
Sometimes they say the best defense is a good offense. Obviously, you want your team to go out and score as many points as possible, maybe even a little more than what they've been averaging.
Yeah, just so we, when time runs out, we're 1 point ahead. We don't care what score it is.
Coach, good luck in the ball game today. Thanks for coming over. Also standing by with us is Mike McDonald, the head coach of the Lyman Raiders. He's coming in right now as the coach exchanges pleasantries along the way to the baseline here. Coach, coming in, your team has the highest scoring average for a team of any of the 8 in the tournament field this year. In a state tournament, a lot of times they say that it isn't offense that wins championships, it's defense. Do you have a different approach to that at all, or a different theory?
That's probably true, and that, we're going to have to play defense with the best of them as well. We're going to have to hustle, we're going to have to cut off second shots, but I have a lot of faith in our offense, and I think my players have a lot of faith in the offense too, that we can put points on the board. We'll try to outscore them, true, but we may outscore them scoring only 55, 60 points, and that'd be fine with me.
Now, in the past, when you were here at the club as an assistant coach a couple of years ago, you really didn't have the size inside. You had the good quick team and the good outside shooting team. A little bit different now. You have some size inside to match up with some of the bigger teams in the tournament.
Yeah, we have Garrett Moore and Todd Ballmer and Donovan and Jeff Schonard off the bench. They're 6'6", 6'3", 6'4" right there and sometimes. So we do have some size. We can match up front, and I think our guards are quick enough that, with those people, they can compensate for maybe a few deficiencies up front in that, they do have some size. That's the key to our game. We do match up, but I think we do have some quickness and advantage in the quickness area too.
Obviously, that's the key then for you, is to force the tempo and get them in an up and down game.
That's our game plan, to force the tempo, ball hawk a little bit, go after them, tire them out. Our game plan really is not to jump on them right away. Our game plan maybe is we're going to get a spurt, second or third quarter, when they get a little bit tired, or maybe the fourth quarter. We may play them even in our pressure game for most of the game, but then once in a while maybe we'll run off 6 unanswered points, and that's our game plan. That's the type of ball we play.
Good luck today, Coach. Thanks for coming over.
Thanks, Paul.
All right, Mike McDonald, the head coach of the Lyman Raiders, and now we are going to just in about 48 hours or so determine who is going to be this year's B basketball champion, but a lot of champions have already been determined in South Dakota high school sports. One of them was the B volleyball championship, and it went
years back, poked a lot of fun at the short people in our world. But being short hasn't stopped Phillips Kirk Dennis from doing what he wants. At 4'11" and 78 pounds, he is the smallest high school basketball player in the state. For what this little man lacks in stature, he more than makes up for in desire and determination.
You gotta hustle that much more, and you're always intimidated by the other players, but you gotta just get rid of that feeling and just play your game.
A quick glance at the history of this great game will tell you that the little man has proven time and time again that he does belong with the giants on the court. Former NBA stars Calvin Murphy and Hall of Famer Bob Cousy are just two who come to mind. They, like Dennis, were considered too small to play, but the competitive fires burn deep.
You have to work hard when you're smaller, because most people don't think that short people would be very good at basketball. But I was a wrestler, but I was always too light for wrestling in high school, so I had to change to basketball.
When he first tried out for the team, many of the Scotties were a little more than skeptical. But now the junior guard is not only accepted, he's become one of the team leaders.
He shows the kids that, if you're down, you can always be up. When he's playing, he's always positive, always thinking positive, and that's what helps everybody else too.
Dennis leads the team in assists and runs the Scotties' attack, and he does that as well as anyone, says his coach, Mike West.
He's a leader in everything that he does, and out on the floor, he's definitely a leader. He kind of tries to get things lined up and run the team as best as he possibly can.
I just go out there because I like the game of basketball. I don't try to prove anything. I just try to play my game.
In Phillip, this is Bruce Gutnick reporting.
I'll tell you, you got to love that kid. That is a great story.
I can certainly appreciate that, being a short guy myself. And the thing that I like best about him, well, you never can tell, Tom, with these state meet tournaments. It's wide open. We talked about how Beaubridge maybe had a chance at winning, but I don't think any of us up here actually thought they were going to pull it off, and they did. And right now, I'm just going to sit back and watch. No more predictions from me.
Again, the Lyman Raiders coming into the game, averaging 81 points a game. They have scored over 100 twice. Once they hit 123 points. They scored 99 in one game, 93 in another game. That'll tell you something about their offense. They'll want to get into a running game with Wakonda. The Warriors, a much more physical team. They are just big, really strong, right from starting guard right up to the center position.
Well, after losing all those guys from last year, a couple of All-Staters, you would have thought that Wakonda might be a little bit down this year, but the kids picked it up. They played hard during the offseason, and they're back to the state tournament as one of the favorites.
And again, if you missed the pregame show, Bob White, the coach of the Wakonda Warriors, is sporting a beard this year. That is in honor of the Wakonda Centennial coming up this summer. He is a very laid-back coach. He doesn't get tremendously excited. Last year we called it a business-like team, and I think even more so without, you know, the two great outstanding players. Certainly they've got many great players right down the line, but they don't have the Todd Smith or the Todd Bruin. But they come back with a couple other players, the Tigers brothers, and also Paul Dwyer, who's leading them in scoring. On the other side of the coin, Chief Moore and Cooper Garnis. Cooper Garnis, kind of an interesting story we should probably touch on.
That's right. He was redshirted, and I think that's almost unheard of in South Dakota high school basketball. Had an injury. He talked to the Activities Association, and they said, okay, you can have another year back. So he came back, and he's a great ball player.
The reason was he hurt an arch playing football last season, and he in essence just stayed out of school and came back as a fifth-year eligibility. The college stuff is starting to come down to the high school ranks. We're set to go, just a couple of ticks on the clock left, and we're about ready for the start of our second game, and if it comes anywhere near the way the first game was, well, I don't know if we could really ask for that. That's
I think it's going to be that kind of a game, boy.
Let's go down to the floor for the introduction.
We have the Lyman Raiders.
Number 24, Steve Rayburn. Number 40, Leland Lightnum. Number 42, Dooley Schroyer. Number 44, Jeff Schoenhard. Number 50, John Brost. The starters at guard, number 10, Keith Moore. At the other guard, number 22, team co-captain, Cooper Garnis. At forward, number 30, Dan Donovan. At the other forward, number 32, Todd Vollmer. At center for the Raiders, number 34, team co-captain Garrett Moore. The Raiders are coached by head coach Mike McDonald, assisted by Scott King. And now from Region 6, the Warriors from Wakonda. The non-starters are number 11, Dan Redrick. Number 13, Tom Larson. Number 21, Mike McCarty. Number 25, Bob Madsen. Number 31, Tom Logue.
Number 45, Bill Logue. Number 51, Chan Johansson. The starters for the Warriors at guard, number 15, Kevin Groves. At the other guard, number 43, team co-captain Randy Jensen. At forward, number 33, Philip Tigert. At the other forward, number 41, team co-captain Paul Dwyer. At center for the Warriors, number 35, Robert Tigert. The Warriors head coach is Robert White, assisted by J.R. Mayer.
And there are our officials, Clyde Hagan on the left ear screen, Wide Clyde as they called him for many years as an athlete, now official, and Mick Weissop, now the head football coach at Rapid City Stevens.
Tom, the Wakonda Warriors might have a slight edge simply because they are so used to playing on this floor. I think Lyman did play here in the B Classic, and that's got to help.
That helped them a little bit. And I also think that now that these two teams have seen Armour get knocked off, I think that even gives them more of an impetus.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, the difference between this year's Lyman team and the one that was here 2 years ago, I think a big, big difference. They got a 6'6" guy in the middle that has come of age in the regions, had his 2 best games ever in his last 2 games with 27 and 21 points. And he's 6'6". That's the one thing they lacked before was a tall player. They've got plenty of speed and they can race up and down the court. That means they can play with anybody and match up pretty well with anybody.
I think, too, that they have gone around the state and picked up some good competition. They have really had a tough schedule. Driving inside, we've got our first foul of the ball game. It is going to be an offensive foul. It's going to be called on Keith Moore. Moore's the guy you want to keep your eyes on. He's really a spark plug, like a bumblebee out there. So now we see Lyman. They'll come out in man-to-man pressure. They'll be trying to trap Wakonda. The inbounds pass is made to Randy Jensen. He'll bring it up across the timeline himself. He stops and shoots and hits. So Jensen comes out banging right away for the Warriors, and they'll take a 2-0 lead. You look at this Wakonda team up and down, and they are big. Not real tall, but certainly very physical. There is more.
They can all jump, too. They can all dunk the ball in practice.
Garnis gives off now around the perimeter. Working this is Garrett Moore. He'll shoot no good, and a rebound is pulled out of there by Dwyer. Wakonda dressed in their traveling green and white uniforms. We talked about the Wakonda Centennial wearing your green and white there. Lyman will start the game in a 2-1-2 zone. Shooting good off the wing is Kevin Groves. So Wakonda comes out shooting hot. Nailing their first couple of shots. It's 4-0. Now Wakonda will try their hand. Yeah. Keith Moore wearing one red sweatband, one black sweatband on the same hand. Brings it across the timeline. Wakonda playing a zone. It's more of a matchup zone. Roving around. Balmer now will go out front to Moore. This is Garrett Moore, spelled M-O-H-R. Spinning around and missing a shot. No good is Balmer. And the rebound is pulled down again by
a guard.
A guard. It makes no difference, really. The parts are interchangeable. Here's Dwyer. Jensen, quick zip pass. Shot good again by Groves. Lyman's going to tighten up that zone a little bit. They have given 2 excellent shots. And one thing about this Wakonda team, they are a great wing shooting team.
They had a slump in the middle of the year, but this is the way they started in the region championship, hitting all those shots.
Shooting off the wing himself and missing no good is Garnis. Garrett Moore with a rebound will try it off the glass and get it. Garrett Moore will get Lyman on the board at the 5:52 mark to go in the first quarter at 6-2. Here's Jensen. Pretty good football player, I guess you can tell by his size. The ball will slip through the fingers of Robert Tigert. Now Wakonda will get it back. Look at Jensen, the point guard. They get it off to Dwyer for an 8-footer, but he missed it. And now it's stolen. Taken away from Balmer. Now the Warriors will reset the offense. And there's a foul, and who's it going to be called on? Garnis will get it. That is the first foul on Cooper Garnis. It's the second team on Lyman.
There's Mike McDonald surveying the situation. His team down early, but making up points in a hurry is never a problem for them.
We've got timeout on the floor with 5:24 to go in our second game of the B from Sioux Falls. Early on, it's Wakonda 6 and Lyman 2. And that is that
Sherry
Cinnamon?
Moore, isn't it?
No. It's Cinnamon King.
Reminder here, it's my turn to do this, sir.
Okay.
This tournament is being conducted under the auspices of the South Dakota High School Activities Association.
And just as we did that, Randy Jensen knocked one down from the top of the key, and Wakonda is red-hot shooting here to start. 4 points for Jensen, 4 for Groves, and an 8-2 lead for the Warriors, champions of Region 6. Keith Moore on the dribble. Across it goes to Garnis. Back to Moore. Fakes. Back to Garnis. It's really hard to tell exactly what kind of defense. I guess they're now in a man-to-man. Moore is open, and he'll hit it. Keith Moore with a 21-point-per-game average has his first 2 of the day, and it's 8-4. I guess we expected a high-scoring game with Lyman averaging 81, and Wakonda certainly able to put points on the board.
Yeah, but I think Wakonda does feel that, I think the Warriors feel they have to keep the game not in that kind of a racehorse pace. I think 60 points they feel would win the game, and they'd be happy.
Traveling call made on Dwyer. Inbounds pass. Moore falls down. Picked off by Dwyer. He'll give it up. It's lost. Knocked out of the hands of Philip Tigert out of bounds. Philip and Robert are twins.
Luckily, they wear a different number.
Yeah, that's the one great thing about basketball. At least you can hang a number on them. 35 for Robert. 33 is Philip Tigert.
One has a little thinner face and the other one has a mole, so it's really easy from way up here to
it's tough to spot that mole from this range. Dwyer will play it in under a heavy stack under the basket. He'll play it out front to Jensen. Give it off to Groves. He will miss his first miss of the game, and Dwyer will get a foul coming up over the back.
It's interesting, their philosophy on shooting. They consider the first shot an assist to set up a basket the way they rebound offensively. That is their strength.
It certainly is. They really pound the offensive boards. Lyman looking to cut the lead down to 2 points. This is Moore down in the corner, trying to get it inside to Vollmer, but it's knocked out of bounds by Philip Tigert. So the Raiders set to play it in. And don't call them Lyman County. Drop that county just like you did with Hamlin, folks. Vollmer on the wing. Moore driving. Shooting good. Tough shot for Moore as he was in the air and off balance going the wrong way and still knocked it home. It's 8-6. And that was close to a double dribble.
Was it ever?
They'll rule maybe that the ball was touched that caused Dwyer to lose control. And there's a foul on Cooper Garnis, who got a little too close to Randy Jensen. And on Cooper Garnis, that is 2 now. And Cooper, who waited a whole year, sat out a whole year just to get a chance to play in the B here, certainly wouldn't want to pick up 3 fouls this early.
Ironically, that torn arch, which contributed to his redshirt season, has been a problem this year. That little band around his knee is, though.
Center rod shot for Philip Tigert, no good. Battle for the board is pulled out of there. And saved by Steve Rayburn in the game now. Rayburn, a 5'11 junior. Lyman starting 4 seniors and 1 sophomore. Vollmer, the sophomore. Jared Moore, now to Keith Moore. Gives it off. Rayburn will shoot it. Good. Get a nice bounce off the backside of the rim. First basket for Steve Rayburn, and we're tied at 8 with 3 minutes left.
Whoops.
And Jensen loses the ball out of bounds. And Bob White wants a timeout. He does not like it at all. With an even 3 minutes to go in the first quarter of play, Lyman has battled back to not to score at 8 apiece. 2 battling coaches from Sioux Falls. Al Coster's on the left, and John Odney, who will take his team to the State A next week in Rapid City for the 5th straight time. And we got it over and back on the inbounds. As not really thinking there in the dead ball situation.
That's right. By the way, congratulations to the 6 teams last night that qualified for the State A.
And we had some surprises as well in the regional play. Well, I'm going to have a hard time saying that. Jensen forces one, still almost got it. Dwyer had it, lost it, knocked out of bounds, still alive, picked up, foul call. Keith Moore is going to foul Robert Tigert. And now the two starting guards for the Raiders each have 2 fouls.
Wakonda's a good free throw shooting team, Tom. They practice free throws in practice, and they have a chart on the wall with how many you make in a row, and the fewest that anybody has made in a row is 30 in practice, and the most anybody's made is 70. Randy Jensen in practice made 70 straight free throws, and Robert Tigert barely grazed the rim on that free throw.
It never fails when you say that.
That's an unbelievable number, though.
He'll try again. You know, I was a fairly decent free throw shooter in practice, too. That goes out of bounds. It'll be mutually touched. Pretty good in practice. And once the game comes around, it's a little bit different story.
But when your worst free throw shooter can make 30 in a row, I don't care what conditions that is, that's pretty impressive. Because it does become mechanical and automatic to a certain extent when you practice that much.
When we talk about how good Wakonda is, they'll miss them both, but they will control the tap. Game tied at 8. In case you just joined us, Tom Maxwell, Mark Overton, the rest of the South Dakota Basketball Network crew. First afternoon coverage of the Big B. From the baseline, missing, no good. Robert Tigert, Lyman out on the run. Moore stops. He'll give it back to Cooper Garnis, who will hit it. And Lyman has their first lead of the game at 10-8. And again, on made baskets, the Raiders will try that pressure in the backcourt. Jensen at the top of the key. A 1-2-2 zone offense. Dwyer in the corner. Will give it up. Shot up, rolling off, no good. For Robert, inside, good. It's Groves with the board.
2 guards have all 10 points.
Groves with 6 and Jensen with 4. We're again tied at 10 now. Moore driving, lost it. Coming out of there with it, keeping it alive is Vollmer. This was the fist play. This used to mean shoot. It still does. And he got it. Whoa. Chance to the three-pointer. Keith Moore gets the basket.
He's an exciting player, isn't he? He likes to make things happen. As he, as you said, just held the fist up, said, somebody set a pick for me. I'm going to drive off the pick and throw it in and get fouled for a three-point play.
And the foul is called on Kevin Groves. That is his first, just the second team. Foul called on Wakonda. So Keith Moore at the free throw line. He is the M-O-O-R-E Moore.
I was going to tell you how good a free throw shooter he was, too, 81%.
Glad we didn't say anything. Jensen looking, gives it up to Dwyer. To Groves. And Groves is a little strong. Dwyer, however, with the board. That's their bread and butter. Yep.
That's a typical Wakonda basket right there. Just get the rebound and stuff it in.
Paul Dwyer will again tie the score at 12. Uh-oh, here's the fifth play again. This time he can't shoot it. He will give it up inside to Vollmer, who hands it up and in.
That was a nice pass and a great shot.
Lyman back up by 2.
And he's only a sophomore. He's really come on. He played a lot last year off the bench, too.
Jensen has just stripped away as Moore quickly got in there and forced the jump ball.
You know, this Lyman team lost one of their top players from last year. Don Pearson went to Lusk, Wyoming. He averaged 15 points a game last year. They did get the Rayburn twins from Aberdeen Central, but they've still had a great year despite the loss of Mr. Pearson.
Jeff Schoenhard will check into the Lyman lineup. He gives them a little bit more size in there at 6'4" and a senior. And a traveling call. One of Wakonda's strengths this year has also been, as a keen look on Bob White's face, has been their absence of turnovers. So Lyman now with a chance to take a 4-point lead into the second quarter, as we just have 12 seconds and counting left in the first. Here's Keith Moore. He'll take that one. This one's short, though. The rebound is loose. Now it's picked up by Jensen. 2-1, half corner. Oh, and it's the rim. Well, a great try by Robert Tigert. We've reached the end of the first quarter of play. And our score is Lyman 14 and Wakonda 12.
a brand new field.
Moore and Philip Taggart will jump it. It will be controlled by Lyman. And it's stolen. He telegraphed that baby, and Kevin Groves came to pick it off. He'll drive to the hole and miss it. And it's picked out of there. And on the run is Cooper Garnis. 1 and 3 on 2. Gives it off. Garrett Moore, baseline. Good. 4 points, Garrett Moore. Look out. And it's almost stolen. Now here comes Wakonda going 3 on 2. Dwyer will instead bring it back out front. Goes baseline, Philip Taggart. That one will skim off. Tipped up by Dwyer, no good. Another tip, no good. As the Warriors pound the boards with no result. Now Lyman looking to take their biggest lead of 6. 45 seconds into the second quarter. This game riding the heels of one of the biggest upsets in state tournament history, as Mobridge defeats Armour 57-56 in game 1. That ball is chipped away. Cooper Garnis will go across the 10-second line to retrieve it.
Again, the finisher I was talking about before, he's got that little band below his knee. That's for what's called jumper's knee, where the ligaments separate from run up down on the court.
Garnis will try short, but right there to rebound and put it home is Garrett Moore. Moore now asserting himself in the middle a little bit more. That's 6 points. And it's 18-12 Lyman. And a timeout by Wakonda. They have had a rough start to the second quarter with 6:39 left in the first half. It's Lyman 18 and Wakonda styles here at the arena. I think Bob White primarily called that timeout, Mark, because he saw the team have a little trouble with the press. Here we get a little bit disorganized. This is Groves with it on the wing, looking inside for one of the Tigers. Instead goes to Dwyer on the baseline. Back to Jensen. Stops, shoots, misses. Dwyer had it, lost it. Keith Moore.
Look at him.
And he drew the foul.
He sure did.
Drew it from Philip Taggart.
He fabricated 2 free throws on that baby as he was just determined to go in for a shot. That's individual effort right there. There was almost no way he was going to make that, I don't think. But he certainly was going to get fouled if nothing else.
I think flashy might describe him, Keith Moore.
Well, you might recall he started 2 years ago as a sophomore.
And he'll make the first free throw. That is 7 points in the first half for Keith Moore. And Lyman again has taken their biggest lead now at 19-12, 7 points. He'll get them both. And right out of that, they'll sing into that pressure defense in the backcourt. But coming up to help out is Robert Taggart. And that's the way to handle the press. Back out to Randy Jensen. Gets it to Dwyer. Has it blocked by Moore, and a good play. Out it goes to Garnis. They're running 3-on-1. Keith Moore to the hole. Blocked off the board, and a great play. Another try by Garnis, but he's fouled. That foul is called on Kevin Groves. You saw just how quick Lyman was there. They got that ball, and bing, they had 3 guys out running 3-on-1.
I was just going to say that. We're seeing the difference right now of the team speed in Lyman.
Great block there, however, by Randy Jensen. But Garnis was there to get the rebound, and he'll try his hand at a free throw. Groves' second foul of the game. Lyman has had a great spurt here.
That speed has been the difference right now because Wakonda has allowed them to get out on their break. Wakonda's not a real fast team, a very, very smart team. Very fundamentally sound. I don't think you'll see a more fundamentally sound team in the tournament than Wakonda, but right now that speed of Lyman has been the difference.
To counter that, I think Wakonda feels that they have to control the boards.
Yep. Well, actually, they've done a good job on the boards. They just haven't had those follow-up shots going in.
The defending state champions find themselves down by 9 now, 21-12 with 5.5 minutes to go. Jensen maybe forced it a little bit and will jump up the rebound as Robert Taggart will get in there, as will Todd Ballmer. There's Bob White. Has he called another one?
Yep.
He has called another timeout. He's used 3 of them in the first half now. 5:26 to go. He's looking for the remedy. His team is down by 9.
There's a new name in alfalfa that ends the war for bigger yields. Megaton brand alfalfa.
From the game high above the Sioux Falls Arena.
Tom, Wakonda, I don't believe, has scored a basket in about 5 minutes or so. They didn't score in the last couple of minutes of the first quarter and have not scored here in the second quarter.
They will control the tap, however. Randy Jensen, look how high he is put out front. Started out front by the defense by Garnis. Taking a spill there is Dan Donovan. No call. Phillip lost it. Scramble. Picked up by Lyman. Loose, and they get it out. And now here we go. Moore will run. He will shoot, and he will miss it. Rebound grabbed by Dwyer.
Well, so far, Lyman has been able to dictate the pace of the game very effectively.
They really get it out there quick. High lob, cross-court, Dwyer. Groves. And Lyman, since giving Wakonda that 15-foot wing shot, has taken it away very quickly.
They were making those shots early in the game.
Jensen drives, gives it up. There's a good shot for Groves, and he'll get it.
Yep. All but 2 of the Wakonda points, Tom, have come from the outside.
And that's what they're going to have to do. They got to get Jensen past that first defender to force the defense to come up and help out and create some openings for some jump shots. 21-14 Lyman. Moore. This is from 17 feet. Rebound, however, saved by Palmer. Inside, turnaround. Shot no good, and Wakonda and Paul Dwyer there to clear it. Jensen again, very deliberate out front. The three-point ring that you see around the outside is the shot from the baseline is good by Groves, who has got 10 points, really carrying the offense. He has already passed his season average of 8.
He's been it so far.
Explain the three-point ring.
That's for the SDIC.
Right. 19 feet.
Piece of cake.
Moore drives. And a blocking foul is going to be called on Phillip Tigert. That is his second. It is Wakonda's 5th, and we'll go to the bonus now for Lyman.
Speak of the SDIC, again, we want to wish Sioux Falls College luck tonight as they go out to Rocky Mountain to face a 7-foot center. And the winner of that game goes to the Nationals in Kansas City.
The state has really been lucky the last couple of years in having a team from the state go to Kansas City. Northern, of course, here in college. Free throw by Keith Moore is good. And
South Dakota State in Division II hosts the regionals tomorrow night. The USD women jumped all the way up to 7th in the poll last week after winning the NCC, and they host a game next Tuesday, just 2 games away from the Nationals.
Moore is 4-4 from the line. He has 10 points now, becomes the first Raider in double figures. Lyman's leads back up to 7 at 23-16.
And all 3 of those college teams have done it with South Dakota kids. That's what makes it the best.
Jensen missed. Robert Tigert got the rebound, had it blocked, picked up by brother Phillip, who will shoot long. No good. Ball is knocked out of bounds. It'll be Wakonda.
They're doing what they want to do, but as you can see, Bob and Nathan on the right there just disgusted that the shots aren't going in. Nathan is pretty animated down there on the bench, isn't he?
And of course his Bob's young son. And we got a little pushing going on, and it's going to be on Robert Tigert as he pushed off, trying to set a pick. And Bob is just beside himself. I can't remember seeing him get so excited on the bench.
And both teams are in the bonus for the rest of the half, Tom.
That's the first foul on Robert. And at the free throw line, Steve Rabin, a 5'11 junior.
Again, he's one of 2 twins that transferred over here from Aberdeen Central, and he has been a good man off the bench, and he and his brother, can you imagine next year the twins being the starting guards? If one of them's hot and fouls out of the game, switching jerseys in the huddle and such.
The old Benarsfield trick.
Right.
Well, Lyman has really shot their free throws well. Rayburn gets them both. Now they're up by 9. And a trap applied, but Randy Jensen will get out of it. Now has it back. A 2-1-2 defense has really given Wakonda fits about the last 7 minutes. Moore on the drive, shoots it, no good. And Dwyer just comes over the top and takes it away from Steve Rayburn without fouling. The 2-1-2 with those 2 quick guards out front is just giving Wakonda fits. Groves, who has been red hot in the first half, has a dozen in this half. And he has helped keep Wakonda in the ball game.
got 2/3 of their points.
This is Garnis. Now Moore again. Inside to Gareth Moore. In traffic. Missed it. Ball tapped up. And we've got a foul on the rebound on Garrett Moore. That is the first on Garrett Moore. And we'll go down to the far end now.
Again, Tom, Wakonda is not going to win this ball game with having to depend on their guards to score their points. They still have got only 2 points out of their front line. There's the guards, by the way, that have contributed 16 of the 18 points. And aside from Dwyer's field goal in the first quarter, that's been it. The Tigers haven't scored. They have got the rebounds inside, but just haven't made the shots.
2 of Wakonda's prize players from last year, both went to Black Hill State this year. Todd Smith, Mr. Basketball, and Todd Druin. Phillip gets the first one. That's his first point of the game. Missed it, but it was Robert there to get the rebound. Wakonda will get another try and a chance to cut it to 4 points. Just under 2 minutes to go, first half, and a holding foul is called on Steve Rayburn. His first. So to the free throw line will go Paul Dwyer.
Well, he was an automatic on Saturday night. He was 16 for 18 from the foul line in the region championship game. He had 26 points. Most of them were like that. They were all swishes.
Perfect. And Lyman is going to call a timeout. They have seen a lead of 9. Cut down now to 5 points with a minute 47. Down to just 3 of 13, 23%. Lyman 2 of 9, 22%. Kind of surprises me a little bit. Here's Paul Dwyer for his second free throw. And the timeout certainly didn't faze him. That's 4 points for him, and now it is a 4-point game. Balmer now gives off. Cooper Garnis tries to get back, but I think, and I know, in fact, that Balmer was waiting for him to shoot it. Balmer returned to go to the basket for the board. Now Wakonda, which has not played a great game in the first half, can get back to within 2. Keith Moore, I think, may go to Hollywood after his high school career. Turnaround shot is short. And coming out of there on the run is Cooper Garnis. Over to Keith Moore. Now down to Jeff Schoenhardt. Lyman being very patient now. Looking for the good shot. Here's the old fifth play again. That means a pick up there on 33. And that foul is going to be called on Dwyer, who did not allow Garrett Moore to come over and set that pick. That is 2 on Dwyer. So now Wakonda has Groves, Phillip Taggart, and Dwyer each with 2. Nobody in foul trouble. Moore and Garnis have had 2 for quite some time on the Lyman side. And Garrett Moore will go to the free throw line.
He is from Lyman.
Yeah.
A town of 13.
I didn't even know. I claim my ignorance on this one. I did not know there was a town named Lyman.
Daddy is a dairy farmer.
He'll hit them both. He has 8 points. Again, it's a 6-point game, 27-21.
Some of these guys come from 26 miles away to go to school.
That's not uncommon out there.
Nope.
You see McIntosh. McIntosh comes from 50 miles in some cases.
And 2 states.
And 2 states. Ball is tipped as it goes out of bounds by the Raiders. Dwyer set to play it in. Looking inside, instead will settle for Groves. Back to Jensen, who will set the offense. Jensen will take that shot. It's a good shot for him, but he's short. And here comes Moore. A run-in, a shooting, and a little bit short. 20 seconds now left first half. Here's Groves. He has been the man. And he hammers it again. 14, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 points for Groves.
Hurry up. 3, 2.
And it's going to be offensive. And that is the 3rd foul on Cooper Garnis.
And that, is he going to get shots on that or not? I believe he landed on him after he shot the ball. It should be a 1-and-1.
Nope, they'll rule he fouled
while he had control
of the ball.
Okay.
More importantly for Lyman, 1 second left. They'll throw it high in the air. It is picked up at the horn. It is short. And we have reached the end of the first half of our second game of the afternoon session of the B. And our score, the Raiders have
used up all the good shots because the shooting percentages have not been good in this game. Wakonda in at 10 of 31, 32%. Lyman in at 9 of 21 for 43%. And Lyman actually had a chance to blow this game wide open, but they missed some layups midway through the second quarter of play and let Wakonda get back in it. Free throw shooting, 3 of 6 for 50% for Wakonda. Lyman is 9 of 11, 82%. Rebounding pretty even, 16 for Wakonda, 14 for Lyman. Turnovers, not too bad, 7 for the green of Wakonda, Lyman in with 9. So as far as the stats, pretty even.
The thing that indicates to me that Wakonda's shooting is off is that Kevin Groves has nailed 7 outside shots for his 14 points. That means their inside shots, they aren't going at all. I mean, they're missing the shots that they rely on. Game in and game out for the whole season, they rely on that. They've got more rebounds than Lyman, but they're not making the shots.
Individually in the first half, Mark mentioned Kevin Groves with 14 points. Robert Tigert, who averages 14 a game, did not score in the first half. 4 for Randy Jensen, 4 for Paul Dwyer, and a point for Philip Tigert. For Lyman, 10 for Keith Moore, 8 for Garrett Moore, 3 points for Cooper Garnis, and 2 for Todd Vollmer, 4 for Steve Rayburn. So we tip off the second half with Lyman owning a 4-point lead in the battle of number 4 and 5 seeds. Driving is Randy Jensen, puts it up a little soft, tipped up, knocked around, finally pulled out of there by Vollmer. As Lyman will start the second half with Steve Rayburn instead of Vollmer in the starting lineup. This is Rayburn with the ball. Back to Keith Moore. Wakonda going with their normal starting 5. Groves, Jensen, the Tigert boys, and Paul Dwyer. Here's Garrett Moore back off the screen for Keith Moore. No good, and it was Philip Tigert jumping a little bit too soon, and that gave Todd Vollmer, or Donovan rather, is not starting his half. Vollmer a chance for an easy tap in.
That was just a bad bounce for Wakonda. Vollmer is the leading rebounder on this team.
Here's Jensen in the corner. Missed it, but there to tip it in. It's Philip Tigert.
There's the bread and butter basket inside by Wakonda.
First field goal for Philip Tigert, 3rd point of the game. No major changes, it looks like, for either team. Cooper Garnis deep in the corner, driving, forcing a shot, up and good. I don't know how he managed to pull that one off.
It may have been a force, and it looked like a force, I'll give you that, but he sure made it look easy the way he put it in.
Mike McDonald, and you got to get in there on the boards. This is Robert Tigert, no good, and Garrett Moore has grabbed the board. Garrett's working hard inside. Well, he has to against a physical team from Wakonda. Lyman now looking to increase that lead to 8. Just into the 3rd quarter. Cross, wide open, shooting, Rayburn good. Steve Rayburn has his 6th point. He gives them some good punch off the bench. Really plays more than you would think with the 6th man. Dwyer finally found Groves out front. Now Jensen, who has moved off that point. Inside, Philip Tigert, good. And Wakonda now, it appears, is going to try at least. They've shuffled some things around. They've moved Jensen off the point, put Groves out there to maybe open that middle up a little bit. 33-27. Garnis, Moore. Keith Moore, short. Rebound, Wakonda. And on the run all by himself, deciding I think I'd better stop with it, is Philip Tigert.
He looked up court and he saw 5 white jerseys.
Randy Jensen driving, shooting, and scoring. So now Wakonda's come out with a little bit of a blast here. They've cut it to 4. That's what it was at halftime. Out front with it. Keith Moore now. Rayburn again. Lyman certainly can be patient, too, against the man-to-man. That time it will crawl up over the top for Garnis. It's out of bounds to Wakonda.
And after falling behind by 8 to start the 3rd quarter, Mike Darnold's team has given up that 8-point lead. It's down to 4. Wakonda has the ball.
And we've got a timeout with 5:05 remaining in the third quarter. The lead for Lyman is the same it was at halftime. Our score is 33-29. Been a friend of yours. I saw a Celtics jacket in the crowd. Inbounds against Lyman's pressure. This is Dwyer. High lob pass across the timeline to Jensen. Stops as the ball tipped by Garrett Moore. Retrieved by Philip Taggart. Groves, top of the key, picks up where he left off.
You know, Tom, he was hurt last year. We wondered where he came from, but he was hurt, missed most of the season. They were counting on him last year, and boy, has he filled the void with a couple of those graduations this year. He's been a very important member of this team, and today, perhaps his most important day, because he is keeping them in the game. Keith Moore was signaling something there. I'm not sure what it was. Drives to the corner, looking for Garrett Moore. Gets it to him in the lane. Shot up is just a little too strong. Rebound is tapped right to Keith Moore, who lost it out of bounds. And now Wakonda with a chance to tie it in this trip. Just give it to Kevin Groves. He has been unconscious. 16 points, and all of those have been from the outside. At least 15 feet. And he's shooting a good percentage, too. Robert Taggart says, here, Paul, take this. Now back to Groves. Now Jensen. Inside, Philip Taggart has it blocked, but a foul is called, and Wakonda will have a chance to tie from the charity stripe. Foul called on Ballmer. That is his first. That's the first foul by either team in the second half, and we've played exactly 4 minutes. Our afternoon session of the B has really been a cleanly played session. There were not many fouls in the Mobridge Armor game until late, of course. Here's Phillip, and the first one will not go. Clean, close, and exciting.
Phillip's second try is good. He has 4 points now, and it's 33-32. Well, we expected a close battle. Moore looking for that pick from Garrett Moore. Instead, we'll pass it to him. His shot is too strong, but he is fouled by Dwyer. Now, that is the third foul on Paul Dwyer as you look at Mike McDonald. Keep thinking of the Doobie Brothers every time I say that.
Garrett Moore to the free throw line.
Whatever. For those of you not necessarily into the pop music scene, he was the songwriter for the group, and he made a bundle. First free throw's no good for Garrett Moore. He'll go down to the socks. Wipe that perspiration off his hands. His second one is also a little short, and Wakonda now with a chance to take the lead. Here's Jensen. Stops, shoots, good. And Wakonda has the lead back for the first time since the first quarter. 34-33. It's really been a game of spurts.
They're on a 9-1 tear here.
Moore to the corner. And now Lyman getting a little sloppy with the ball handling. Will lose it. Dwyer picks up the errant toss. This is Groves to Jensen. Inside, Philip Taggart over Moore. Scores. Might be time for Mike to take a timeout. He is up signaling for one, and he will get one. So Wakonda has gone on a 11-1 scoring binge here in the third quarter. And with just 3 minutes to play in the quarter, they have taken a 3-point lead.
First with microwave cooking for the home. First again with browning. Since microwaves cook so fast, some foods don't have time to brown. So Tappan added a special browning element that gives you golden brown meringues, beautiful brown casseroles, juicy brown meats. So everything looks as good as it tastes. A delicious improvement. Tappan, our browner, is just one element that sets us apart.
Tappan appliances are available at Carl's TV and Appliance, Midtown TV, and Lyle's TV.
DeKalb Pfizer Genetics is moving the sorghum belt north with DK18, the sorghum that stands strong under stress and dries down fast. Here's what growers are saying about this new early sorghum leader.
My name is Charles Schwartz. I'm from Cologne, South Dakota. This is a field of DK18, It has the potential of making 100 bushel or better. I think it is a supermodel for this part of the country.
See your DeKalb Pfizer genetics dealer about early pay and quantity discounts.
Part of the student section here. There you go. Look up. I believe nobody said a Lyman yet. Lyman now suffering a bit of a scoring drought. A little lapse of mental concentration has seen a lead. It was 8 points in this quarter. Fade away. This is Garrett Moore stopping and shooting, no good. And it's Wakonda with a rebound. Here comes Jensen. He'll take that ball to the baseline and shoot it more often than not, and he'll hit it again. So 6 points in this quarter for Randy Jensen. He joins Kevin Groves in double figures with 10 now, as Wakonda is up to a 5-point lead. 38-33. Keith Moore to Cooper Garnis will set sail. Good.
They needed that. That snaps the run of Wakonda a little bit.
Lob pass is tipped away, and a foul is called on Ballmer. And Lyman Vince did not like that call. Schoenhart checks into the lineup. Foul on Ballmer is his second. It is, however, just the second team foul of this half. Where Wakonda will play it in. The winner to play Upstart Mobridge in the semifinals tomorrow night. And a reminder, we'll be on the air tonight at 7 o'clock in the Central Time Zone, 6 o'clock in the Mountain Zone for Salem and Britain, followed by Castlewood and McIntosh. Off the glass, Dwyer. 6 points for Paul Dwyer, and again a 5-point lead for the green and white clad Warriors. Stopping, shooting, Moore short. Wakonda with a chance to take their biggest lead of the game. I'm not so sure 5's not their biggest. Out in the corner, Jensen, good again.
That's their biggest.
That is their biggest lead. Jensen has lit it up here in the quarter with 8 points. 12 for the game, and it's a 7-point lead for Wakonda. This is Garrett Moore taking it to the basket. Missed it. Rebound. Ballmer tries. No good, but he's fouled.
I just double-checked my numbers here. It's now been 17-2. For the last 19 points, Wakonda's outscored Lyman 17-2. And boy, they play with confidence here in the third quarter.
So to the free throw line, Todd Ballmer. As you get the feeling a little air has gone out of the Lyman attack.
Yep. They can get a bunch of points in a hurry, though. You can't let down against them.
But the way they ran with the ball when they were so hot in the first half, we have not seen them out on that break once in this half. Ballmer gets his 5th point, makes it a 42-36 game. And that tells me that Wakonda is controlling the boards a little bit more. Maybe not turning the ball over, giving Lyman the opportunity to get the ball out on the run. What a heralded team Lyman had a couple of years ago when they came into this tournament undefeated.
Well, this one's only loss was to Armour here in the Big Classic, 21-1.
You know, we talked about how Lyman was hurt in the seeding by playing a class team winner. Jensen will try again, and he is hot.
It's his turn to get hot.
It has been Groves in the first half, and now Jensen here in the third quarter that has given Lyman, or rather given Wakonda, an 8-point lead. 10 points in this quarter for Jensen. Moore will answer on the other end. That's a dozen for Keith Moore. Again, a 6-point game. 44-38. We'll see if the Warriors might hold for one with just 20 seconds left in the quarter. Jensen cross-court Dwyer. There's a 16-footer right in the face and passes it up. Under 10 now. Jensen, he figures, what the heck?
When you're hot, you're hot.
This quarter for him. 2.
Today, officials said the 32-year-old patient still is critical. The prognosis guarded.
State champion Wakonda Warriors. They'll take an 8-point lead into the 4th and final quarter. We talked about the fact that neither team was really shooting that well, but Wakonda behind a great shooting performance from Randy Jensen. Hi there.
11 of 14 in the third quarter, and they doubled their point total in one quarter, went from 23 at halftime to 46 after 3. And Jensen and Groves have scored 32 of those points.
Very quickly now, here's Vollmer on this end, and it will curl in. In that third quarter, Wakonda outscored Lyman 23-11. To turn the tide of the game in their favor, Dwyer falls down. Very alertly will kick it back out to Groves before he gets called for traveling or moves with it. Inside, they had Robert Tiger crossing, didn't throw him the ball. Dwyer. This time they'll leave Robert all alone. Robert says, thank you very much.
His first basket.
Robert Tiger gets the basket.
48-40. Wakonda. Tiny Wakonda with just 70 students in the high school. I think that's up 1 from last year. Moore, that's good. Moore is a much better shooter when you give him that little setup step. Moore, his second basket of this half. He has 14 points for the game. Down to a 6-point lead. 48-42 with 7 minutes left. Groves, this is Philip Tiger. They got the same shot they gave Brother Bob a minute ago, and Philip will hit it.
I couldn't tell them apart, could you?
I have Philip with 9 points now, and again, trading baskets back and forth. Back out to Moore. Is bottled up and is fouled. And they're going to whistle this on Dwyer, and Dwyer now picks up his 4th foul of the game. Dwyer has 4, Philip Tiger has 3. On the Lyman side of the ledger, Cooper Garnis has 3. Inbounds, they played Rayburn deep in the corner. No good for Cooper Garnis. Rebound saved by Vollmer, and he'll get a gimme.
Took it right away. Good heads-up play, and he's got 9 points.
50-44. Lyman likes the score, obviously, but they even like it more because they can put that pressure on in the backcourt. Robert Tiger, and all of a sudden, everybody is scoring for Wakonda. Again, an 8-point lead. Cooper Garnis goes left, gives back on the give and go to Garrett Moore, and a chance to the 3-point play will materialize as he is fouled by Groves and missed the shot. That is 3 fouls on Kevin Groves. And again, the Iron Men of Wakonda. They have not substituted in this game, and there's a chance they might not substitute the whole tournament.
Probably won't, unless they have to.
Wakonda has made 11 straight shots from the field.
Wow.
Free throw is good for Garrett Moore. That is the first point that Garrett has managed in this second half. He can go into double figures here. Again, a 6-point game as the two teams just slide back and forth between that 8 and 6-point figure. Wakonda will take that. We'll see who's going to be the first one to miss after 11 straight. There's Robert simply wide open, but he missed. Garrett Moore, Garrett Moore with a rebound. Flips out to Keith Moore. Moore to Garnis, slides in, scoops it up, no good. Rebound saved by Keith Moore. Keith Moore, free throw line, good. 16 points for Keith Moore, and it's a 4-point game. 52-48. What a great way to open this B tournament. Could not have asked for a better couple of games in the afternoon. Driving, shooting, blocked by Garrett Moore, but he also got him with a body. Looks like a good block from up here.
I think we're in for another great finish like we had in the first game. If you didn't see it,
take another look at
there's your body.
Yeah, I got him with a
Moore.
body.
Looked like a clean block from up here, but when you see it again, he did get him with a hip. First game, Mobridge upsetting Armour 57-56.
I was going to say that's why we have replay. Well, up here, a couple of pretty well officiated games too today. And how often do you get a chance to say that? Good one.
No, they usually do a good job. Robert has come alive. He hadn't even scored before this fourth quarter. Now he's got 5. Brother Philip has 10. Jensen and Groves each with 16.
So Robert Tiger, who has come alive in the second half, he and Jensen and Brother Philip Jensen was the man in the third quarter that really ignited the team, though. High lob into Garrett Moore, muscles to the basket, no good, loose ball, and it is picked out of there by Philip Taggart, who is swarmed by Raiders, but will dish it off, and Wakonda will bring it down the floor. Baseline, Robert Taggart. Groves. Again, a wide open Philip Taggart who will curl in. How are they getting so open on those? There must be some great picks being set down in the low post, because at least 3 or 4 occasions in this half there have been wide open, uncontested jump shots. Inside Garrett Moore, back around to Keith Moore, who will pop one up there way short. And Wakonda, Dwyer brings it out. He is crowded too closely and fouled by Steve Rayburn.
Boy, this Wakonda team is an entirely different squad from the first half. They are playing like state champions right now.
And we have a timeout on the floor. It is called by Lyman. They are going to try to regroup. 4 minutes and 9 seconds remain in the game to decide who will play Mobridge in the semis tomorrow night. And the Warriors hold on.
This is South Dakota's biggest bubble blower. Every hour, this machine blows thousands of plastic trash bags at American Western Corporation in Sioux Falls. Nearly a decade ago, First Bank forged a partnership with American Western that's held strong through 3.
There's the view from high up top, and there's a happy Wakonda Warrior fan. And there are a bunch of them. I remember last year they brought that green wave to Rapid City. Warriors, Philip Taggart is short this time. Battle for the board is won by Ballmer of Lyman. Each trip now becomes important for Lyman. We've crossed inside the 4-minute mark. Pass inside, intended low for Cooper Garnis, is knocked out of bounds by Wakonda. And he set to play it in his Ballmer. Flips it high out front. That ball was kicked by Dwyer. Wakonda has stayed in that varying 3-2, 2-1-2 zone for a lot of this half after playing strictly man-to-man a lot of times in the first half. Now they're going to make the Raiders shoot the ball, which is what Keith Moore likes to do. He has 18.
He's the leading scorer in the game.
56-50 with 3.5 minutes to play. Let's see what Wakonda's ploy might be here. I think it'd be a mistake for them to turn away from the basket. They have run their man-to-man offense beautifully and gotten them some great shots.
Well, I think they'll keep taking them when they have them. But they're going to be very deliberate with just over 3 minutes to go in the game and a 6-point lead.
Very deliberate. Groves. Phillip. To Robert. And as you can tell, every one of the guys on his team can put the ball on the floor and dribble if they have to.
And they're all good free throw shooters, too, which makes it a little easier to go to this, knowing that if they foul any one of the 5, they can step to the line and make it.
And they are going to run their man-to-man offense to death. And the foul is called on Jensen, who ran over Keith Moore. A heady play by Moore, but all you can do there is try to draw a foul. And when Jensen hits it,
I was going to say, any collision with Jensen, you're going to lose, but it was a good play there. But watch Keith Moore draw the foul there.
He drew it, too. Again,
and he also draws a chance to get 2 more points without a tick of the clock going off. Very smart play by Keith Moore. He's a good ball player.
Looking for points 19 and 20 if he can convert both ends of the 1 and 1. He got the first one.
After missing his first, he's made his last 5. He's an 81% free throw shooter. All-conference quarterback in football. You can tell that on the floor, though. He's a leader in basketball. He's a quarterback type in basketball, too.
Nothing but net on both of those. He leads all scorers with 20. And it's a 4-point game. 56-52. And Lyman will pressure in the backcourt again. Wakonda handles that pressure. Early in the game.
Whoa!
Bad mistake. As to coin the old cliche, Philip Taggart zigged when he should have zagged.
They broke the pressure easily and just threw one away. And Mike McDonald likes that. He says, come on, guys. We're right back in the game. 2.5 to go, down 4.
Raiders can cut it to 2. Rayburn. Inside. Garrett Moore's got the position and scores. That is 12 for Garrett Moore in a 2-point game. Couple of great games to open the B. Maybe the seating really works, huh? 10-second call.
How about that?
And Bob
White doesn't like it, but Mike McDonald certainly does. He flew off his seat. And the Raiders now the chance to tie. They were just down 8 points. It's like the first game. Except for they didn't wait quite as long to make their run. Armour ran out of time.
Less than 2 minutes to play right now. Cooper Garnett looking for Garrett Moore inside.
Or Keith.
Keith Moore, face good. He has tied the game with a 22nd point, and it is knocked out of bounds by Moore. 56-56 with a minute 45 to go.
And they got all the momentum on their side right now, too.
A couple of key mistakes. The offensive foul by Jensen and the ball thrown away. Moved pretty large here. But still, if Wakonda can hang on to the basketball for the last minute and a half, the advantage right now is theirs.
Especially to keep it out of the hands of Wakonda or of Lyman.
Dwyer missed it, tipped up off the board, a grab on Lyman.
Advantage Lyman.
And Lyman now will have a chance to run off the clock. And with a couple of ball-hawking guards like Keith Moore and Cooper Garnett, this is their ball game. 1 minute to play.
They'll hold for one.
I'd look for a timeout with about 30 seconds left. Or if they ever get in any kind of trouble when they're dribbling the ball. We'll see if Mike McDonald will choose to do that or whether he'll do what Brunel Glanzer did the last game and choose not to take that timeout.
If you know what you're going to do, don't call it, because then you have to get the ball in play again.
Well, they'd have a chance to diagram a play if they should choose to. 30 seconds is now past. 25 seconds. 24. This is Moore.
I don't think they're... No, there you go.
Is.
There you go. 20 seconds.
Timeout, and now, here we go. What we're going to do right now, we're going to stay with the action.
Come on, let's do it now.
Into the Lyman huddle.
Look it out. Listen up, man.
Okay. Now what we're going to do now, we're going to set Keith up for the shot. Okay? Keith up for the shot. And what we're going to do is this. We're going to get the ball in.
Try to get it in,
We line up like this. Make sure we watch over and back. Let's get the ball in the floor, first of all, on the floor.
Now, don't get that over and back,
Todd, you pass it in. Okay?
One more thing.
Then we're lining it up.
Don't shoot too early. Do we have any timeouts left?
None.
Don't call timeout.
Okay, we're right here.
No
Okay?
timeouts. No timeouts.
We're right here. Here's what happened. Here's Keith on his right side. We're in delay game. With about 10, we're going to do this. Cooper, you're here. Keith, you're going to run through. We got double pick.
Double pick.
Cooper penetrates. Here's Keith in the corner.
Coop, you got to get over here now. Make that pass. Not that long one. Come on, White. Come on.
Let's go.
Go.
Well, I guess you could... That is one of the more interesting huddles. They got a lot of things accomplished in that short amount of time. They set the shot up for Keith Moore, number 10. Keep an eye on him.
And they made sure of a lot of things. They made sure they knew there were no timeouts left.
Here we go.
This could be critical.
20 seconds left. We are tied at 56. Cooper Garnett now is going to try to set up Keith Moore. They'll get the ball back to Garnett. He's waving Moore down. Moore's going to come around.
There he is.
There's his shot, but Wakonda defense as well. The shot is so good. And the ball is loose on the floor. To the corner. We've got overtime. We've got overtime.
We got overtime, but Lyman's got all the advantage going in here, Tom, because they scored the last 8 points of the game to tie it.
I can get this tip.
Well, here we go. Should we go back into the Lyman huddle and see what they're going to do?
Okay.
Maybe just
Not bad, not bad. We're back in now. We got a new ball game again. New ball game.
We never won in OT.
Yeah, we need the tip. Number one, we need the tip.
Pressure man-to-man again. Man-to-man.
Man-to-man. Nothing easy. Nothing easy. We get the ball. And we're going this little delay game. Looking for penetration. Looking for penetration.
3 minutes of a hard
Right away. We look for penetration. We're under control if you get the penetration taken. Once in a while, you got to time. Oh, man. You got it. Let's go.
The last timeout that Lyman took, which was more of a strategy session. This was kind of more of a fire-up session.
Yeah. 3 of the hardest minutes of ball of your life, I heard somebody say, and that's true. The game, what's happened to here doesn't mean anything. They start all over again. For 3 minutes, tied at 56. Boy, we have had 2 fabulous games. The first game, 57-56, Mobridge. This one, 56-56. OT.
3 minutes of extra playing time. Keep in mind, each side will get 1 more timeout. The ball is knocked around. It's controlled by Lyman. And we'll see if the Raiders will sit on it for the duration.
I believe that Robert Tigert lost the contact on that last rebounding scuffle at the end of regulation. He only has 1 contact lens right now.
Here's Ballmer to the hole. He'll score. A big basket. That will give Lyman a 2-point lead. Laid across the timeline for Philip Tigert. Lyman quickly scoring. They'll start the OT period. Here's Robert Tigert. He'll tie it.
With 1 contact? Be interesting to see if he got that back, if he made that shot.
58-58. Another great game. Here's Garnis inside. This time Ballmer is tied up, and he'll bounce it off the leg of Jensen and out of bounds. We've got more to come tonight. Be sure you join us. 7 Central, 6 Pacific. Pacific? Mountain. There you go. Just skip the whole time zone there.
Well, you've done that before.
Moore got it. Big basket. And again, they take a 2-point lead. 1:45 left in the extra period. Family call on goal. Bob White's going to take a timeout.
Now Lyman can go to a stall, Tom. They don't have to shoot, and they're sensing victory.
Stay conservative to begin with, Paul.
This is Wakonda's
the ball out of the middle. I don't care if it's 33 or what it is, guys. When we're down the court, you've got to keep your pace. Do not foul. Do not foul. Understand? Keep your feet. We keep your feet, we're okay. That's it. Remember, just get over and let's get with it. Hustle best we can. You know what I mean? We still have a timeout left.
Reminder.
When we come down the court, run the movement. If we get out too far, remember, we can always drive in and take that walk. 6, 8 foot.
This is the Wakonda huddle, not the Lyman huddle.
Failing to do that. So face up and let's get
that we're listening to right now.
Okay. We're going to hold the ball now, I think. So get ready. Go, Greg. Everybody in their position. Out of confidence. Out of confidence. Come on, 33.
Well, you heard Bob White say, do not foul. Do not foul.
Still 1:44 to go here, Tom. 2-point lead for Lyman. They've got the ball.
And they are going to play catch, it appears. There's a lot of time left. You don't want to start fouling right now. Get out of the corner! Get out of the corner. You can hear Mike McDonald holler. Garnis on the dribble. His team leading by 2 points. Lyman 60, Wakonda 58. Dangerous high lob pass makes the Lyman fans, you can just hear the oohs coming from the crowd.
They've got 2 great ball handlers out there right now, and Garnis and Moore. That's an advantage to them in a game like this.
We're down to a minute.
And they're both great free throw shooters, too.
It's a long time to hang on to the basketball. At the same time, Wakonda's got to watch the back door.
Watch the trap.
And we've got what? A foul is called. That foul is going to be called on Robert Tigert, and they fouled the man they don't want to foul. Well, they fouled Rayburn. That's the second foul on Robert Tigard, but more importantly, it will send Steve Rayburn, the junior, to the free throw line for the 1-and-1 with 46 seconds left. He got it. Boy, barely even moved the net. One of the bigger free throws Steve Rayburn has tossed toward the hoop in his basketball career.
Ice water in the veins on that one.
The second one will not go. Wakonda has the rebound. This is Dwyer. Laid ahead. Too far for Philip Tigard, not out of bounds.
And you may have seen Keith Moore hopping up and down on the floor. He's sensing it now, and so is Mike McDonald and Scott King.
Lyman was down 56 to 50.
Walk it up!
Walk it up.
You talk about 2 games, a game, 3 games within a game in this game of momentum.
Now you have got to foul because you need the ball twice. You can't steal it. Down to 25 seconds. They get a wide open Bowmer, and he scores, and he's fouled. And that move could close the door.
I think Todd senses it. Boy, this game has just gone back and forth. Watch Bowmer sneaks in behind when they're trying to stall the game away. Gets the easy layup, and he is fouled by Dwyer, who fouled out of the game. And high fives all over because Lyman is sensing victory, leading by 5 with 21 seconds to go. So it looked like they were out of this one, Tom, and they put on a great spurt at the end of the 4th quarter to tie it, send it to overtime, and they had all the momentum going to overtime, and it showed.
Okay, let's go.
Wakonda has gone with 5 players up until now. They have to replace Dwyer. He fouled out. Bob Matson, number 25, will come in. They have got to be exhausted. And that may have been a difference.
And we're going to have our first substitution of the game only because Paul Dwyer is fouled out. That was his 5th foul. They'll bring in number 25, Bob Matson. But right now it's looking like the Lyman Raiders will take on Mobridge in tomorrow night's semifinal.
Luckily, both winners will have a chance to rest because they have been through emotional battles here this afternoon.
Ballmer caps a 3-point play. He has scored 5 points in the overtime. Here's Jensen. They're down by 6. He fires. No good. Rebound, Garrett Moore. And Lyman is headed to the semifinal. Moore lays it back for Garnis, and it's showboat time now. They've got it. The inbounds pass is tipped away. Randy Jensen is going to drive it and score. They call a timeout. They will get a timeout call, but it's not going to make any difference. They're down by 4. They are down by 4 points with only 1 second to go, and it's going to be jubilation.
That picture right there tells it all. That is Nathan White, Bob's young son.
It's all over but the shot.
The Wakonda fans, I'm sure, thought they had the game won.
They were really rolling in that 3rd quarter, in the early stages of the 4th quarter.
Made 11 straight shots from the floor. Boy, this Lyman team has shown a lot of character coming back after being down by 8 points late in the game to tie it. And they've looked very good here in the overtime. I think that when you end the game on a high note the way they did, there is no question going into the overtime that you're confident. That was the case here.
We'll run down the leading
Mike McDonald smiling there as he well should be. He is now 39-4 in his 2 years with this victory today.
Keith Moore will lead him with 24 points. They're just going to toss the ball down to the far end. And this one is going to be history. There it is. It is intercepted, and the game is over. Lyman has come from behind in the 4th quarter to defeat the defending state champion Wakonda Warriors. There will be a new state meet title holder this year. The final score, Lyman wins it over Wakonda
and made 10 more. Thus, they pull it out, shooting 76%. Both had 25 rebounds, and it was 14-13 in turnovers. What a great game. What a great 2 games in scoring, Tom. What do you got there?
Lyman wins it at the free throw line. For Lyman, it will take a 22-1 record into the semifinals tomorrow night. They were led by Keith Moore, who had 24 points tonight, 10 in the first half, 14 in the second. Todd Vollmer had 14 points. 12 of those came in the second half. 5 came in the overtime period. For Garrett Moore, he was next with 12, 7 apiece for Cooper Garnis, and 7 for Steve Rayburn. And for Wakonda, they should have quite a battle with Armour tomorrow afternoon.
Boy.
They were led by 18 points from Randy Jensen, 14 in the second half, and a bunch of them came in the third quarter. 16 for Kevin Groves, 12 for Philip Tigert, 8 for Robert Tigert, and 6 points for Paul Dwyer. They did not get any scoring off the bench. Our final score again, Lyman 64 and Wakonda 60 in overtime. And we'll remind you to join us again tonight for Salem against Britain at 7, followed by our capper of the first round, Castlewood against McIntosh. And in case you missed the first score this afternoon, it was Mobridge in one of the great upsets in tournament history.
But, you know, boys are boys, and you rebound pretty quickly, and they're ready to play, I think. And emotionally, I don't think there's any trouble with emotions because, first of all, I have an emotional crew, and second of all, this is a state B, so I think we're ready for it.
Now, this Mobridge team, I think, really opened up a lot of eyes among the other coaches in the tournament and especially the fans yesterday, what they did to Armour, shooting over 70% from the floor. You had to be impressed with the way they got the ball inside so effectively and worked for such a high percentage shot.
Yeah, Mobridge is a patient team. You know, they look to go to Rosso a little bit. They look at the Lindy kid, you know, and they work their offense until they get the ball to him. And yesterday, those people shot very well. Our key today is to maybe put a little more pressure on Rosso and Lindy and make some of the others shoot it, especially from the outside, and try to stop that inside game of theirs.
Coach, good luck. Thanks for coming over.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we've heard from Mike McDonald. Let's bring in Jim Suckaway, the head coach of the Mobridge Tigers. And, Coach, I was just talking with Mike about the emotional impact of yesterday's game for not only his club, but yours especially. Number 8 beating number 1 in that first game, a very exciting finish in that ball game. What is the status of your kids right now? You had a little bit longer rest than they did, but what's their emotional and psychological attitude coming in right now?
No, we really, as far as being tight or loose, we really feel that we're loose tonight. And I don't know, the emotions, I don't think you have to worry about it. You're in the state tournament, and if you're a little tired and a little tight, I think the adrenaline will carry you through. And I don't think you should ever have to worry about getting the kids up when you're in the semifinals of the state Class B tournament in South Dakota. I
know yesterday, the tempo of the ball game was a big concern with the way Lyman plays. The fast break type of ball game that they play has got to be a concern of yours again tonight.
Well, we'll have to use a similar type game plan we used yesterday. We'll do some things different defensively a little bit and try to control the tempo of the game. Maybe not quite as patient as we were, but we'll try to keep the ball in their hands as much as we can, and hopefully that our guards can continue to do the good job they've been doing getting the ball down the court.
Defensively, against people like the Moores and Cooper, what are you going to be doing on them? Is it going to be a zone, or are you going to go man-to-man?
Well, we're going to do a little combinations, man-to-man zone combination tonight, try to mix them up a little bit. They're not quite a disciplined offensive team as Armour. I'm not saying that as a criticism. I'm just saying that you know a little bit more where Armour was going to go than these guys, and so we're going to try some combinations on them.
Good luck, Coach.
Thanks.
All right, we heard from both coaches. Let's go upstairs.
Okay, thank you very much, Paul Lipisto. Let's go downstairs now to our public address announcer for the introduction of our starting lineups.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Sioux Falls Arena for the semifinals of the South Dakota Boys State Class B basketball tournament. In our first game this evening, we have the Mobridge Tigers, champions of Region 2, meeting the Lyman Raiders, champions of Region 4. We will now introduce the starting lineups. First for the Tigers from Mobridge. At guard, number 10, team co-captain John Schaefbauer. At the other guard, number 32, Steve Brown. At forward, number 24, Tim Paulson. At the other forward, number 40, team co-captain Steve Rosso. At center, number 50, Carl Lindy. The Tigers are coached by Jim Sluckaway. And now the starting lineup for the Raiders from Lyman. At guard, number 11, team co-captain Keith Moore. At the other guard, number 23, team co-captain Cooper Garnis. At forward, number 31, Dan Donovan. At the other forward, number 33, Todd Vollmer. At center for the Raiders, number 35, Garrett Mower. The Raiders are coached by Mike McDonald. Ladies and gentlemen, the Freeman High School band, under the direction of Mrs. Betty Mutter, our national anthem.
Just about ready to go with our semifinal game tonight between Mobridge and Lyman. But before we start, just a reminder, this tournament is being conducted under the auspices of the South Dakota High School Activities Association. And we're set for the tip-off. You saw our officials Al Simon, Buck Timmons, Mobridge tonight. The Giant Killer, the decided underdog in this tournament coming in, will be dressed in their home gray uniforms with orange letters, orange and black trim, and Lyman will be dressed in their traveling red, trimmed in white and black. Garrett Moore jumping in with Lindy. It'll be controlled by Lyman. This is Cooper Garnis quickly off the tip. The first shot of the game is tried no good. The second try will also fall out for Dan Donovan, and the rebound is pulled out by Steve Brown. And the Mobridge Tigers, as the upcourt pass is knocked out of bounds by Keith Moore, and you have to wonder if a few more people in Mobridge might have got in the car this morning and drove to Sioux Falls. They have got a good contingent of people here. We have a packed house in the arena as usual for the semifinals of the State B. Here's Mobridge on their